September, Leading Age Maryland is highlighting workforce development efforts across the aging services sector. There are many inspiring and encouraging stories of how our member organizations have grown employees from within their ranks. Joining me today is Meghan Curtis from Edenwald to share her experience. So Meghan, thanks for being with us today. Can you tell me a bit about your background and kind of how you got to where you are today, what you studied in school, anything you'd like to share about your career journey?
Well, sure. So I actually started at Edenwald Senior Living. It was my first job. I was 15 and got the after-school job in dining services. And I honestly have never left. But through working throughout high school, I really developed a passion for working with the aging population. And so from there, when I graduated from high school, I got my college degree in psychology. And Edenwald honestly helped find different paths and different experiences within the organization for me to continue to work here through my college and through my master's program, which then I attended University of Maryland School of Social Work. Through there, I was kind of shifted into an office manager position here. Then I did marketing for about 2 years. And then when I finished with my degree in social work, the social worker in independent living was getting ready to retire. So it kind of, the stars aligned for me. And I assumed that position with my master's degree in social work with a concentration on aging services, and began being the social worker at Edenwald. From there, I continued to develop my skills, kind of really hone in on a CCRC and the concept of the CCRC, and really focused on assisting and supporting families and residents with the transition process, and just the best ways to approach that, education, support, and then the follow through with everything that has to happen with a transition. Then an opportunity arose for me to take on more responsibilities at Edenwald, and I became the director of care management, which essentially then helps me to oversee kind of all of the aspects of independent living in regards to their health and safety for independent residents. So that's what I'm doing
Is there
now.
a job that you haven't done at Edenwald? You've done just about everything.
I know, but I have to say, being in different departments teaches you so much. So it really did help in my current role of like knowing what the limitations are with what we're offering, or you know how the intricate part of culinary actually is a huge part of helping a resident being successful. Because it's not only just dining, it's the experience, the socialization, the engagement. So it really has helped. And then in marketing, learning the contracts, learning how an organization like this actually functions with what we offer. That helped me immensely when being able to discuss with someone like, what does it really mean if I go to assisted living? Or should I stay in my apartment and start getting help, which we're seeing more now. That people necessarily coming into a CCRC doesn't mean they automatically want to move to assisted living. They want to explore options to age in place.
Yeah.
So really, all of those places really helped me. I feel to be where I am today.
Absolutely. And the next thing I was going to ask you is just about how your organization has helped give you opportunities to grow and develop. And it sounds like, I mean, you've been the same organization for a long time and you've grown, you've completed undergrad, masters, like you've had so many opportunities to kind of move and grow. So what are the opportunities that you feel Edenwald has really given you to progress in your career? Are there like one or two that you feel like have been most influential?
Oh, I think one of them was being able to have the experience in the marketing department. I mean, I was coming from dietary. So, really seeing that there was potential, I believe, that of what they saw in me, and giving me that experience. And then several years back, putting me into the Emerging Leaders Program
Hmm.
was so insightful and so helpful. So for them to, really push and go through that application process and go through that program
Hmm.
was a huge help.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm so glad you enjoyed that program.
Yeah, I really did.
So
You learn so much.
you do. Yeah, you learn so much about yourself and how you show up and how to understand other people.
Hmm.
Um, so what's the most rewarding part of your job now?
No matter how much more responsibility I have here, I love that I'm still able to have connections with my residents and families. I don't know if I would be, happy in a higher position that kind of loses that connection. And
Mm-hmm.
right now I'm still able to have that.
Hmm.
Um, it's very self-rewarding to know
Hmm.
that, you've helped someone through a journey, and it can be small. It can be helping them figuring out how to forward mail right
Hmm.
to, a big transition of, a spouse who has to go to, memory care,
Hmm.
and the wife is still going to be in independent living. And those
Yeah,
those are hard. And
yeah.
if you can ease that with just your experience, knowledge, or just honestly listening,
Hmm.
that is one of the most rewarding parts of my job.
Yeah. Well, I think you're in the right spot for that. It just fits your skill set so well.
I think so.
Um, so what are examples of workforce development programs or initiatives that you've seen at Edenwald or other organizations that you've seen be successful?
I really think when you're looking at those types of programs, you really just a collaborative effort
Hmm.
has to be a focus. You really need to make sure that you don't assume just one perspective
Hmm.
on how you want to handle like either a trend that you're seeing, how are we going, how like the aging in place initiative. We really had to start to develop and think outside the box, with everything from, do we have to alter or look at our housekeeping services to, what is our programming that we're offering? Are we offering enough that's going to be successful for someone who wants to age in place in their apartment
Hmm.
and not
Hmm.
necessarily still be able to do a higher level programming that we may be only offering right now? So you really need to look at, bringing in different perspectives to make sure that you're not, losing track on certain items.
Hmm. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Is there any advice that you would give someone who's in the field now and they're really wanting to grow in their career and maybe do something new or different?
My biggest advice would be, to ask questions, because that's the only way that I really felt like that I stood out in the very
Mm.
beginning is, make sure that you don't feel that you have to be stuck in a niche, because you don't. But if you're not going to, take that step for yourself and kind of
Hmm.
inquire more about, different ways that things work, or, how do you help with this, or what are these contracts at Edenwald? Like if you need to like be able to have the interest, you got to show the interest, which means you got to ask the questions.
Hmm. Yeah, that's really good advice. You can never go wrong with a good question.
No, and there's no wrong question.
That's true. Is there anything else that you'd like to share that we haven't already talked about?
No, I mean, I know that, the aging population obviously is growing. We've heard that a million times. So I'm just hoping that, organizations like Leading Age can continue to promote and, really highlight the rewarding aspects of joining this field.
Hmm.
I think it doesn't give as much credit sometimes with other fields of practice, but
Hmm.
we're going to need bigger numbers.
Hmm.
So I just hope that, it can shed a little bit more light on getting more people interested in this field.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much, Megan. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome,
It was
Allison.
great to see you.
It's good to see you too. Have a good day.
Thank you.